Hello, everyone. GameGoddessFee. We are back tonight with more Ace Attorney Investigations 2. Hope you all are having a wonderful day. So yeah, and I do have my boy. All right, so I guess we'll go ahead and do this because I did on the last episode said we'll finish it on Saturday. Not finished, but we'll stream again on Saturday this game. So I was gonna do a Zelda game, but we're gonna wait on Zelda, and I might just be done with that Tears of the Kingdom. I think I'm done with it. What you think, Tom? I'm done with it.
Already beat it.
I know, right? I already beat it, so I'm done. I've still got to play. No, the new Echoes of Wisdom. I got to finish that. I haven't finished it on the channel. Anyway, I told y'all I've been on a Zelda hiatus, so I'm really not playing it right now, but we're about to get into something when the shipment comes. That's all I'll say about that. But I guess I'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and continue this game from. All right, you ready?
Yep.
Oh, hold on. Game, I didn't even. Oh my goodness.
This game is really cool. It looks like a game.
I may need to restart this stream.
Oh my god.
Why you let me forget this?
I didn't know.
I forgot to do this, you guys, and I don't want. I wonder will that cost.
I can listen to it.
If it goes out, my bad, you guys. But hold on 1 second. I'll be right back if it goes out because I need to disconnect this one of my USBs. It is cause I think the camera already hooked up to.
You right.
Okay, cool. I didn't have to disconnect it. I had to disconnect one of my USBs because it wasn't recognizing the switch. And I forgot, I was sitting up here. We were getting Twilight Princess. We were about to play it tonight. But Plum found a version of HD, and we purchased it. And so we're gonna wait for that to come in the mail. And in the middle of that, I forgot to do all of this, but I think we're ready now. Let me do this again just to be safe. All right. So we have Ace Attorney Investigations 2, Prosecutor's Gambit, Episode 1, Turnabout Trigger. We have the latter, reason for removal from the case. All right, Plum.
Okay.
Let's go. Oops, wrong one.
I wasn't gonna say nothing either.
Shut up. Shut up. You wasn't gonna say anything, huh?
Yep. We're just right here.
This is what we would. Okay. Yeah. President Wong's or whoever has to money. Shut up.
Where was I when the incident occurred? The stage, of course. Suddenly, Rook and Knight jumped in front of me. Then, bang! A shot rang out, and a plain, unblemished balloon of red exploded nearby. Not hesitating for an instant, my bodyguards tried to escort me back to the safety of the plane. And then, The second shot. The bullet went right through Rook and lodged itself in the bulletproof vest I was wearing.
I guess if you look at it in one way, the president is also a victim here.
Yes, the victim of an attempted assassination. Rook was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time.
But that makes it even weirder. Why would the target of a crime try to obstruct the investigation?
My guess is that there's something behind all this that he doesn't want made public. A cover-up, huh? I knew there was more to this case than meets the eye. And the president isn't the only one who knows the truth. Isn't that right, Mr. Knight? Time to get to the bottom of this once and for all.
Rebuttal. President Wong's testimony. Where was I when the incident occurred? The stage, of course.
Hold it!
And how would you describe the incident exactly? Oh, you naive little man! Do you really think your silly, simple question will shake me? I was involved in a craven attempt to silence me with cold steel! And while I was speaking to my adoring public, no less.
Suddenly, Rook and Knight jumped in front of me.
Hold it!
When they stepped in to protect you, were you aware of the fact that you were being targeted? Was I aware of the... No! I was aware of my audience, nothing else. When I step up to the podium, I enter another world entirely. A place of rapture, a place beyond words.
Hi, Dave. How's it going? You just got here in time.
You just started.
Yeah, we did. These just the first few lines. I hope your day at work is going well. Yeah, I think that's called stage fright. I bet you were like a deer in headlights.
No! 1,000 times no! I remember every second. Each moment is indelibly etched into my memory. When Rook and Knight stepped in, I was shocked, overwhelmed, taken back. Aback, whatever.
Then bang, a shot rang out, and a plain unblemished balloon of red exploded nearby.
Hold it!
About that red balloon. Are you trying to test me, Mr. Prosecutor? No, Mr. President. I simply wish to confirm what you remember. Very well. There were two very large, very round balloons, one on either side of the stage. Their deep crimson hue stood dark against the sky, just as the security plan said they would. The same security plan we found in the trash can, I assume. Rook and Knight leapt to my aid just before the balloon exploded.
Not hesitating for an instant, my bodyguards tried to escort me back to the safety of the plane.
Hold it!
You said they tried to escort you back onto the plane? Yes, that is exactly what I said. They threw open their attache case, wherever. That must be the moment Kay captured on camera. And immediately moved to help me back onto the aircraft.
And then the second shot.
Hold it!
Do you know where that second bullet went? Is this how you treat a foreign dignitary? Is that what that is? Is this how you treat a foreign dignitary? Or do you really think such needing questions necessary? Needling, whatever.
Whoa! What's he so upset about? What he's so upset about? That's a weird sentence in a way.
Must you insist on going over the same details again and again? Even my patience has its limits. You know full well where it went.
The bullet went right through Rook and lodged itself in the bulletproof vest I was wearing.
Hold it!
If I may ask, what was the victim like in that moment? He was a man amongst men, a real hero. The mere impact of the bullet took my breath away, and yet he had the strength to grab me and rush me back inside the presidential plane.
So you and the victim entered the plane together, is that correct?
Yes, he offered his noble protection, and I gladly accepted it. All was as it should be.
That sounds nice and all, but doesn't that just mean he's always the first to make his escape? He's the president, detective. It's basically in his job description to do so.
Nothing he's saying seems too off base.
Guy's the victim here. Wouldn't make much sense for him to fib to us, you know. Guess we gotta assume he's telling the...
No, one of the things he said is clearly wrong. Think back to the scene of the crime.
Huh? Did we miss something? All right, let me see that evidence again.
I might as well take another look myself. I don't know what I'm doing here, Gumshoe. I'm bluffing. Help me out here. Okay, this is a weird point to rag on, but go to the dirty statement. And then present the steel samurai balloon. This took me forever to figure out, because nobody cares about a balloon, but whatever.
Then bang, a shock rang out, and a plain, unblemished balloon of red exploded nearby.
Hold it!
Ooh, why I do that? I tried to press the other button. It's on the other side.
Get it.
Objection!
You say it was a plain red balloon that burst. But I strongly beg to differ. What? Take a look at this. I think you would agree that it's hardly plain, wouldn't you? No! What? Who is that? Mr. President, meet the Steel Samurai. I would have hoped you might recognize him. Especially if you were hoping to integrate yourself with the people of this country.
Yeah, you need to watch the Jamming Ninja too. He's amazing.
So you see, the balloon that was struck by the bullet was anything but plain. It was in fact of the Steel Samurai. But the briefing mentioned two plain red balloons. And there they are, right on the security plan.
They do look pretty plain, don't they? Just simple round balloons.
Not! What is the meaning of this? Explain yourself! Yeah, Mr. President? It seems the Steel Samurai balloon was borrowed at the last minute, sir. Borrowed? That's what we were told. Guess they only reported the incident to us bodyguards, though. Seems there was a little trouble here on site last night. One of the original balloons burst somehow.
So they swapped it in as an emergency replacement?
Yeah, one of the staff holders happened to have it. Stall holders, whatever. From what I hear, he was more than willing to lend it out. A very happy-go-lucky kind of guy, they said. A happy-go-lucky stall holder with a Steel Samurai balloon to spare, huh? I think they talking about Larry. They filled just the bottom part up with air to make it look like the other ornamental balloon. So while it was a Steel Samurai balloon, it was made to look like a plain red one above water. Is that the long and short of it? Not! Why was I not informed of this?
What's up, Yeety? It's all snap. We back. What's up, y'all? What's up, Yeety? Yeah, we back tonight with Ace. So yeah.
Yeety, is John Cena winning? Is he beating him up like I said he would? Sorry, sir. We didn't think it was a pressing issue. And indeed, you saw it and knew no different, correct? Yes, I suppose so. Could he really have mistaken the Steel Samurai's pants for a plain red balloon?
You said nope.
You hater! Stop hating on John Cena. He's my favorite wrestler.
Really?
Still, Mr. President, I struggle to see how you wouldn't have noticed something different about the balloon. Of course! What's that outburst for? Now I remember. I could barely see the balloon. You couldn't see it. That's right. The wind was blowing too hard. The flags to the side of the stage were flapping incessantly and blocking my view. Is that so?
What this got to do with a balloon?
I don't know.
Huh?
Yes, those two flags. They were being blown back towards me. It would have been a strong wind blowing right around the time of the incident. Strong enough to blow the flags in just such a fashion. But does that conflict in any way with our understanding of the case?
I don't know.
Yeah!
Yes, it does.
Yeah, you do. Thank you, Mr. President. Your testimony has revealed yet another contradiction. It has? Yes, a contradiction that could turn this entire case on its head. When I arrived on the scene, the wind had died down and the flags were resting calmly for the most part. But if the wind had previously been blowing the flags as the president describes, a certain piece of evidence suddenly takes on a very different meaning. Which piece of evidence contradicts the stated conditions of the stage at the time of the incident?
Let me see.
What's up, y'all? I'm at the president's assassination. Check it.
The coat?
Nope.
What?
Bullet trajectory to the left.
This?
Yup. If they was blowing to like in his direction, the bullet couldn't have pierced him.
Take that!
Earlier, we deduced that the bullet that struck the Steel Samurai balloon and the bullet that passed through the flag were one and the same. From these two things, we further deduced the trajectory that the bullet must have taken. And we concluded that our shooter must have fired from the left side of the spectator area. But if the flags were blowing as the president describes, our conclusion becomes quite different.
No way! If the flags were pointed in the other direction.
Exactly. Our trajectory changes completely. And if we trace that trajectory back to its source, we can ascertain who really fired that shot.
Wait! Mr. Edward! That would mean...
Yes, I know. We may not yet understand the reason why, but it could only have been one person who did it. Who does the bullet's new trajectory implicate as the one that fired the shot? Gumshoe, I didn't know you were strapped!
This girl here?
Nope.
The killer?
Nope.
Oh.
You was talking about it yesterday.
No, I forgot.
Bronco Knight!
Who?
Blonde boy, yup.
Take that!
The person who fired that shot was none other than you, Mr. Knight! What? The path from the balloon back to the flag leads directly to the spot where you were standing.
Bullet trajectory that updated in my organizer. I can't read tonight.
Okay, nice.
Extrapolations from bullet trajectories suggest that Knight fired the shots that popped the balloon.
But the guy's one of the president's bodyguards! Why would he go around shooting balloons? This is absurd! What exactly are you trying to imply? That Mr. Knight, a man who saved my life countless times, is my would-be assassin? Seriously, Edgeworth, we put up with a lot from you, but this? We have President Wang's bodyguard. I said it too. President Wang. We're President Wang's bodyguards. We're the pieces put on the board to protect the king. I'll handle this, Knight. Sorry, sir. Mr. Edgeworth, the wind was indeed blowing quite fiercely around the time of my speech. But the wind can pick up and die away in an instant, can it not? Therefore, I need proof. Proof that I was blowing hard enough to lift the flag during that crucial moment. The first shot was fired right around the time the president raised his fist. I have a piece of evidence that shows just that. Perhaps it can also show us what was happening with the flag then too. Then too. Then too.
I forgot what they were talking about.
I think it's K photograph.
It's here.
Yeah.
Take that!
Your proof is in this picture right here. This should be good. Which picture? Where? We can see which way the flag was really blowing right here. There you go.
Take that!
Well, do you deny that it clearly shows the flag? There we have it. Proof that it was blowing towards you at the moment of the shooting. So that means our pal over there did shoot the balloon.
Making him the assassin?
Mr. Knight.
He's the assassin?
Nope.
Not the assassin.
No.
What?
No, it's not the assassin. Mr. Knight is not the assassin. He may have shot the balloon, but the president was on the other side of him entirely. Therefore, he can't have been aiming as his boss. Yeah! Besides, why would I even shoot the balloon? What would be the point? And watch how you answer, or I might aim for something else next.
You're not supposed to be aiming that gun like that.
There was a point. I'm sure of it. If I can figure out what it was, perhaps I can finally put this whole conundrum to rest. Knight definitely shot the balloon.
Knight shot the balloon. The revised trajectory data shows shows that Knight shot the right side balloon. I don't know what's wrong with me tonight. Anyway, I'm gonna have you read it, Plum.
Okay, I can read it. A fact alone changes everything about the case.
The president was targeted during his speech. What? Knight shot the balloon in Knight's position.
Yeah. Why did Knight's assigned position change? I told you! I can't turn my neck to the right! Could only cover the president's left side! So I wound up moving to the right side of the stage. But is that the only reason? Let us suppose that the plan hadn't changed, that Knight had remained posted on the left. Given that he was unable to turn his head to the right,
Would he even have been able to shoot the balloon closest to him? Could it be that the security plan was changed for the express purpose of popping one of the balloons? And if we suppose that to be the case, the two plans are different. Was the security detail reorganized at some point? Yeah, we made some last-minute changes yesterday. President's orders. That's right. The president was the one who ordered the change.
It's an Edgeworth.
That's what I said. Oh, you want me to read it? All right.
No man.
You want me to read it? I can read it.
Change of plans changed on the president's orders, so Knight could pop the balloon.
All right, Mom, this is a hard one. Don't get this wrong.
We have to do these two.
Yeah, you can't get this wrong.
Assassination attempt and change of plans.
Ooh, you might get this wrong. You might get this wrong.
I got it wrong.
Oh my god. Oh, you got it wrong. If I'm reading things right.
We are not reading things right tonight anyway.
If I'm reading things right, the president knew in advance about the balloon shooting. Which means he must have had foreknowledge he would be in someone's crosshairs today as well. And if that's true, then everything else that's been bothering me falls neatly into place. How did the shooter get a gun past such heavy security? And why would they then carry out the shooting wearing such a conspicuous item of clothing? Why use a laser sight that would give away the location in an instant? And how did the president suffer no injuries at all, despite a direct hit to his vest? These are the questions that Knight and the president don't want us to consider. There is only one possible reason for Knight to have fired his gun. To create the illusion of an assassination attempt.
What?
Huh? Idiot! You do understand what you're saying! Oh, I understand all too well. I understand everything now. Most of all, I understand why you are so keen to take this investigation off my hands, Mr. President. You wanted your real You wanted your real plans to remain hidden. How dare you speak to me that way? Is this some sort of sick joke? Oh, it's no joke, I assure you. It is simply the truth, as revealed by the careful application of logic and reasoning. Nothing more. The first shot was fired by Mr. Knight with the specific intention of hitting that balloon. The sound of gunfire and the bursting of the balloon were guaranteed to cause a panic. And then he fired again.
He did?
Yes, he fired 2 bullets, both of which were aimed at the balloon. As for why he did so, it's because the second shot was designed to create the impression that the president had been hit.
So then what's the deal with the one in the vest?
I'm willing to bet that bullet was planted there long before the shooting ever occurred.
Really? Why did he look like that? So Mr. Heroic President didn't take a bullet after all?
That's not true! I was shot, I tell you! We'll be able to verify that for ourselves once we take a closer look at that bullet. At the very least, we can expect to find traces of Mr. Hook's blood on Captain Hook's blood. At the very least, we can expect to find traces of Mr. Rook's blood on it, correct?
There you go again.
But you said it yourself!
You found the shooter in the photograph! The person with the red blood! Hood! I thought I made myself clear. The trajectory points to only one possible shooter, Mr. Knight.
Then where does Tappy fit into all of this?
She was simply one part of their plan. In order to place the suspicion elsewhere, they set about creating a fake assassin.
Oh, it's me. The highly suspicious person with the red hood?
I have yet to ascertain exactly how complicit Miss Lloyd was in the whole scheme. But I can say with some confidence that none of the shots were fired by her. I suspect her only job was to point a laser sight at the president.
That's right. Then I was...
Tasked with turning your jacket inside out the moment the crowd flew into a panic, yes. Thus making the mysterious red-hooded shooter disappear in the blink of an eye. Then, when the gun and the security plan were later found in the trash can, it would have all appeared to have been the work of an assassin so skilled they could vanish into thin air.
But then the case would have gone cold!
Exactly what our friends here were hoping for.
Makes sense. Now why they wanted you off the case.
Indeed, because the entire affair was a cheap ruse perpetrated by the president himself!
Muscles.
The muscles go. Oh my goodness.
No,
The presidential mask has well and truly slipped. Admit it, the entire assassination was a fib, wasn't it?
Oh, the stupid chief prosecutor hadn't insisted on assigning you. Oh, how could I let this happen?
Objection!
That's enough, Edgeworth!
Mr. Knight!
Sorry, but I'm speaking with the president right now. Yeah, well, I'm doing my job as a knight and protecting my king.
Okie dokie.
So go ahead, keep running your mouth. Perhaps it would be better if we stuck to threatening each other with words.
He wouldn't he?
Nah, I don't need this thing to shut you up. Alright, my move. Question. You claim I fired my gun from on stage. How do you figure I did that in front of a crowd of thousands? An excellent point. Time for my counter move, I suppose. You had a certain something that allowed you to conceal your actions. A certain something, huh? Mighty specific. What did Knight use to hide his actions from the crowd?
That suitcase.
Yup.
This oop.
Take that!
Itachi?
Whatever it is.
My Itachi case? I said Itachi. Yes, take a look at case photograph. Your right hand is completely obscured by the case. At the very moment this picture was taken, you were firing your gun. And in such a way that you wouldn't be detected.
Objection!
You don't like to let the facts get in the way of a good theory, do you, Edgeworth? Shame you don't seem to have noticed. Noticed what? That theories are all you have. Conjectures, nothing more. The flag was billowing in the wind at precisely the right moment I hit the gun with my wait, what? The flag was billowing in the wind at precisely the right moment. I hit my gun with my Itachi case. I can't say that word. We changed the security plan because I couldn't turn my head. It's all just speculation, circumstantial evidence at best. You can't prove any of it.
Well, you got the neck brace on.
Ugh. If you at least had the bullet that burst the balloon, you might have a scrap of credibility. Imagine, you could have run forensics to see if it matched my gun. But no, that bullet is at the bottom of the lake. You gonna go dredge it up? I hate to say it, but he's right. I don't have anything concrete. I thought not. Maybe now you can shut your mouth. Miss Lloyd. Of course. She could shed some light on this whole situation. I just need to get her to talk. What's the matter? Something you want to say, Miss Journalist?
Never mind.
That's what I thought. Miss Lloyd! I need you to be brave. If you don't speak up, the truth will be lost forever. You are a journalist after all, are you not?
Man, I can't stay quiet any longer.
Hey! You understand what you're doing, right? I think carefully before opening that mouth of yours.
I was so focused on backing me a scoop, I forgot the most important thing of all. Real journalists don't fail. Ain't no scoop if it ain't the truth. I'm sorry, Mr. Edgeworth. I should have showed you this before.
What is it?
It's the laser pointer I used on the president. But that's all I done. What? I never shot nobody.
Yeah, but that's all I don't know. Shut up. You stupid! I thought I told you. You squeal and you go down as an accomplice.
It was him. He told me to do it. I was at St. Fox Embassy sniffing out a story. Like I told you, this was 3 days back. He comes up to me out of the blue, just starts talking. Help me out, and I'll get you exclusive access to the president. That kind of stuff.
But what about the gun in the trash can?
That I don't know nothing about. I promise all he told me was to wear a jacket with a red hood and to point that there pointer at the president. I never thought for a minute I'd blow up in my face. It'll blow up in my face so bad. I'm sorry. Truly I am.
Thank you, Miss Lloyd. I'd like you to testify to that effect when this goes to trial. It ought to go a long way towards proving that the assassination was a sham. Ugh! What's wrong with you people? Don't you any of you know what's good for you? My sympathies, Mr. Knight. Had you successfully removed me from this case as you'd intended. Perhaps then you would have kept your pawn quiet,
So let me get this straight. You told Tabby if you let slip about our fake assassination plot, we'll have you convicted for murder? Or something like that.
Rather dirty! I said no such thing! President Wang? Give it up, Knight. It's time we came clean. It's our only choice. So, Mr. President, you admit it. You admit that there was a fake plot to fake an assassination attempt. I do. I'm sorry.
But why? Why do something like that?
My popularity has been on the wane back home. I thought surviving an attempt on my life might give me the boost I needed. I know what we did was wrong, so yes, it was all fibs. All of it. And the bullets in the vest? It was planted ahead of time. I wasn't hit by anything today.
Bulletproof vest. A prop used in the staged assassination attempt. The flattened bullet was also planted ahead of time. I can't even see that. But then, what was up with the
they kill him? Did they kill him? Did they kill him?
It did. What was up with the killer?
Our plan got out somehow. And then he just appeared. And then he just appeared. Focused on turning our fake assassination into a real one. Hence the red raincoat, I suppose. He'd hoped to get in close enough as the fake assassin to finish the job. There is one thing I don't understand, though. Oh? And what would that be? Why did Rook have to die? The whole thing was fake. How did he wind up getting killed for real? That's true. And therein lies the real question. He was a fine bodyguard. The best, in fact. He may not have been a native of Zangva, but he was someone I could fully trust.
Mr. Rook must have been really something to gain the trust of someone who'd hide from his own shadow.
Sounds like he was as trustworthy to the president as I am to you, huh, sir?
I believe that's for me to say, Detective, not you. Mr. Rook must have known about the plan too then, correct?
He wasn't aware of any specific details, so not really. I tried to involve him, but he refused.
And you would have done well to listen to him.
This is a tragedy. The life of a good man has been wasted. What was so great about him anyway?
What's gotten into him?
He was just another piece on the board. As to protect you, nothing more. Mr. Nod, how could you? Who was it that actually went along with your plan, huh, Mr. President? Well, that pious coward backed down when you needed him to step up the most. I value your support too, of course, but... Look, I'm your chief bodyguard now. That's all that matters. And now that that spineless idiot Rook is gone, things are gonna change around here. Thanks to me, genius strategist, grand master, rightful leader of this team.
You probably the one who killed that dude.
We're all aware of your ambitions, Knight. But doesn't this seem a little imprudent to you?
Why, my plan this time was perfect, as they always are, and as they always will be.
That's quite a statement. Especially considering that your perfect plan was an abject failure.
Yeah, no thanks to you and that buffoon Rook.
And how exactly was it Mr. Rook's fault?
If he hadn't died, the killer would have never come after me. And I wouldn't have had to let you on this plane.
Please, Mr. Knight, you mustn't talk like that.
Fine. The guy died protecting you, Mr. President. I'm sure that's what he always wanted.
But did he die protecting the president?
Wait, I thought the whole assassination thing was a fake.
Oh, come on! Do I have to say everything twice? We planned a fake assassination, but somebody else came along and tried to make it real. 2 shots were fired, remember? Like you said, Edgeworth, one of them was the bullet I shot through that balloon. But the second, that wasn't me.
Oh, really? And who did fire it?
The real assassin, but not the killer. His plan was to come after the president with a knife. No, the most likely suspect here is the piece cowering quietly in the corner. Our lily white queen over there!
What?
Miss Lloyd!
Again with this? I'm not your assassin.
But is that really true? I, for one, don't believe it. The gun in the trash can, it can only belong to you!
I just tell you for the rest of these because he got like 3 more of these.
Oh my goodness.
Knight's Gambit.
As soon as I shot that balloon, I rushed over to help Rook escort the president back onto the plane. I left Rook here in this room while I secured the president in the safe room. When I came back out, Rook was lying there on the ground. Miss Journalist must have shot Rook while we were escorting the president off stage. That single killer shot was fired by the gun you found in the trash can.
Well, they had that tape recorder.
So you don't actually know when the victim was struck by the bullet, do you? The knight doesn't protect the Rook, Edgeworth. He protects the king!
You want to translate?
He means that his only concern was protecting the president. Lose the king and you lose the game. Isn't that the first rule of chess? But a win in which a key piece is sacrificed is a hollow victory indeed. Doesn't matter. It's still a victory. I kept the president safe. I win. Well, it's a bit too early to be calling our little match. In any case, for this is where our battle really begins. I just tell you, it's the last statement.
Rebuttal Knight's Gambit. I'm gonna go to the last statement.
Yeah.
That single killer shot was fired by the gun you found in the trash can.
It's the revolver. The gun that we found in the trash can.
Objection!
So you contend that it was you who shot the balloon, and Miss Lloyd who shot Mr. Rook? Are you sure about that? Sure, I'm sure. Well, what you've proposed would indeed match up with the total number of shots heard. The gun from the trash can itself has also been fired twice. Now, why would the supposed number of shots heard from this gun differ from the number of spent rounds? It's simple, because it was planted by the real perpetrator of the crime.
Somebody faked the evidence?
Yes, and if you think about it, the reason for doing so is obvious. To ensure that whoever found the gun would conclude that the shooter had been in the spectator area. And in order to do that, they had to make it seem as if both shots had come from this one weapon.
I get it. So that's why it's... I get it. So that's why it's got toothpick rounds, huh?
Precisely. As we have already proven, the bullet that burst As we have already proven, the bullet that burst the balloon came from a different weapon. Which makes it entirely possible that the balloon which killed Mr. Rook didn't come from this gun either. Nice work, Edgeworth. That's some high-grade sleuthing. But why don't you get to the point? You've come this far. Spit it out! Oh, I intend to. Don't worry. The person who really shot Mr. Rook was... I'm sure I told you not to kill people today. Only do that when I tell you to. Anyway, you already probably got an idea.
It was Mr. Rook.
Yeah, he killed him. Okay, no.
Him?
Yup.
Take that!
You, Mr. Knight!
You're so silly.
You, Mr. Knight! You're the one who murdered Mr. Rook! Ooh! Finally got up the courage to say it, huh? Surely not! Surely you wouldn't have! It wasn't only the killer who tried to take advantage of this fake murder plot. You killed Mr. Rook, hoping that he would look like an accidental victim of the bungled assassination. With the president locked away in the safe room and the door of the airplane tightly closed. It was just you and Mr. Rook, alone, together. And that was when the third bullet was fired, right into your colleague's body.
Objection!
Wait, you really gonna claim there's a third one now? You just said only 2 gunshots were heard. Wanna tell me how that works?
Objection!
Airplane cabins are practically soundproof, Mr. Knight. If you close the door, nothing can be heard from outside, not even gunfire.
But wasn't the president right next door?
Very true, which means he may have heard the shots himself. Well, Mr. President? Didn't hear anything. But you can observe this room through your security feed, can you not? The camera in this room isn't normally on. I have to manually switch it on when I enter the safe room.
And that's what you did this time too, right?
Well, that is... What's gotten into him? Mr. President, this is vitally important.
Please, President Wong.
Fine, I was busy hiding under the bed, covering my ears.
What? Even though you knew the whole thing wasn't real?
Yes, because I hate the sound of guns.
This big too.
Just the slightest hint of that awful noise and, oh, it's just too much.
That there's a salad and a pot of overcooked crawfish.
Mr. Knight, you saw that the President Wang was carrying out beneath the bed. What's more, you knew from the monitor bank that the security camera for this room hadn't been switched on. Which means you knew that the circumstances were perfect for you to fire the third shot straight at Mr. Rook. Knight, how could you? Could you really have betrayed my trust so horribly? You think I killed the old halfwit? You don't trust me much, huh? This is the thanks I get for putting my life on the line for you day after day. I want to believe you, but I don't get it. I just don't get it. What is there to doubt here? What? You don't believe that the girl over there could have done it?
This dude that turned into the cowardly lion.
No, because this gun isn't the murder weapon. We know this from the number of bullets fired. Yeah? Well, how do you know there wasn't a spent bullet from the start? What? Someone could have fired a bullet from that gun yesterday or the day before. And today, another bullet. The bullet that hit Rook. That's pure speculation, pal, and you know it! Maybe. But can you prove it's not true? Not with any certainty, no. You're nothing without conclusive proof, so come on!
All they got to do is just test his gun and that bullet.
Yeah. Do they got the bullet in Rook?
You Rook, they can take it off.
Anyway, you got me, whatever. A single piece of evidence, straight through my heart. I dare you. Well, what are you waiting for? Ugh.
There must be something. Must it there, Mr. Edgeworth? If we can't prove it, Tabby's. Please, Ruffles. I messed up. I know I did. I should have never have done what I did. Not even for a scoop. But murder? Nah, that ain't me. Ain't a murderous bone in my body.
Conclusive proof. If only I could prove that Knight's gun is the murder weapon. Wait, perhaps I can. You at least had the bullet that burst the balloon. You might have had a scrap of credibility. Imagine, you could have run forensics to see if it matched my gun. If we had the bullet that killed Mr. Rook, forensics could tell us which gun it was fired from.
No proof, no case. End of conversation.
Objection!
Hold it right there! What now? You're not about to claim you do have proof! Of course I do. This ought to be good. Alright, bring it on! Show me this proof of yours! The bullet that killed Mr. Rook is the key to ending our little game.
But it went straight through him.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Very well. My conclusive evidence is not in my possession. I don't got it.
You don't have it.
No. Not currently in my possession. Alright then, thanks for playing, folks, but that's game over. However, it is here in this room. What? As we know, the bullet that killed Mr. Rook passed through his body. But where did it end its journey? Perhaps we should cast our minds back to an earlier conversation. After passing through his body, the bullet that took Mr. Rook's life then found itself lodged in the vest. He's right! If the president had been wearing that vest, things could have been a lot worse. But now, of course, we know that the so-called assassination attempt was a complete fabrication. The vest was prepared in advance, made to look as if it had been hit by a bullet. I bit my tongue. Which begs the question, where is the real bullet? I like it. A twist. This is good stuff, Edgeworth. Come on then, don't keep us in suspense. Does any of the evidence point to where the bullet that killed Mr. Rook might have ended up? The monitors!
In the Steel Samurai?
Nope.
Where?
She was shot in here, right? So it would have ended up in the monitors behind him.
In the president plane.
Yeah, those.
Right here?
Mm-hmm.
Take that!
There's something very clearly missing from this room. Yes, a prosecutor with some common sense. Take a look at the bank of security monitors. Oh! I see you've caught on, Mr. President. Splendid. There are screens here showing views from all around this airplane, inside and out. The only external angle not covered is the right-hand side of the aircraft. And that's because one of the monitors is missing. There was a monitor in that space previously, wasn't there, Mr. President? There was. I have no idea what my plushie is doing there now, though. It appears to be someone's vain attempt to hide what is obviously lacking. But where did it go, and why? The why is easy enough to answer, because it was struck by a bullet. For if we were to believe that the bullet in the vest was the real deal, then anything that hinted at the existence of another bullet had to be removed.
So, where did the missing monitor go?
Well, indeed. I believe that it must be hidden somewhere on this plane. After all, there wouldn't have been time to dispose of it outside the aircraft. Detective Gumshoe, conduct a search if you would. Right away, sir! Mr. President! Extra E.T. Mr. President! E.T., remember? E.T., we watched that. I have no objection to the search. Please go ahead. If it will help us discover the truth behind what happened to Rook, I will not stand in your way. What are you? I don't believe this! Rook this, Rook that! Don't you ever think about anybody else? The search has been authorized, Detective. If you wouldn't mind... Go ahead.
I got it. Sir, I found the monitor. Excellent work. Now go ahead and extract the bullet. Let's see. If I put my hand in here and just... Come on. Got it.
You didn't scratch your hand on that glass?
Oh, my hand's floating. Well, would you look at that? Blood. This is the bullet that killed Mr. Rook. There's no doubt about it.
Bloody bullet that I jotted down in my organizer. Found inside a security monitor. This seems to be the bullet that killed Rook.
There you have it, Mr. Knight. The single piece of evidence you requested. Straight through your heart. Even you must now admit if this bullet didn't come from the spectator area gun. Then Miss Lloyd cannot be Mr. Rook's killer. What? No pithy comeback? Detective, have forensics analyze the bullet for striations. Have them inspect that bullet right now and compare them to the gun we found. Yes, sir! We'll get the evidence you need. You can count on it. Look at it now!
Who?
The president.
Oh my goodness.
Stomach hanging.
Alright, let's hear what forensics has to say. Our findings are as follows, sir! Firstly, the blood on the bullet is indeed that of the victim, proving that it was the bullet that killed Mr. Rook. Secondly, we found Mr. Knight's fingerprints on the gun, probably from when I handed all the evidence over to him. Now for the key part. The striations, whatever. Striations.
Go on.
If they're not a match, and Miss Lloyd is in the clear. Lastly, the striations on the bullet, or a match with this weapon. What? But how could that be?
No way. Ah, come on.
There's no doubt about it, sir. This is the gun that fired the bullet. How? Well, isn't that something? Conclusive proof that I was right. What's the matter? You didn't think you had me backed into a corner, did you? Guess you misread the board. 'Cause the only one backed into a corner here is you!
Knight's counter.
There's no denying it. Forensics prove that the gun and the bullet are a match. The bullet that killed Rook was fired from the gun you found in the spectator area. So who pulled the trigger? It can't have been me. I was up on stage, which leaves your little friend. The hack killed Rook. She's the murderer, and you just proved it. Your move, Edgeworth, but just remember two things. One, where you found the gun. And two, which gun the fatal bullet came from. Whichever way you look at it, I can't have been the shooter. Ugh, how did it come to this? Me and the president, we admitted to faking the assassination attempt. Now it's your turn to admit something. Who the killer really is!
There's no way Terry did it.
Don't let him get to you, Kay. We just need to go over his statements again. There must be something further we can deduce from them.
Okay, let's do this, Mr. Edgeworth. Rebuttal, Knight's counter.
Okay, so press the first statement. Woohoo.
There's no denying it. Forensics proved that the gun and the bullet are a match.
Hold it!
No,
Objection!
What was it you said? That forensics would back you up? Ugh! How does it feel to be shot in the chest by your own conclusive proof, huh? Not so good, I imagine.
The bullet and the gun are a match, Mr. Edgeworth. That kind of has to mean that Tabby pulled the trigger, no?
Even so, I simply cannot accept that. But sir, there's no denying the evidence! There isn't. So what am I missing? If I assume Miss Lloyd to be innocent, then the gun and the bullet shouldn't be a match. What is it, Kay?
I was just thinking if the evidence points to something that doesn't seem possible, then maybe there's something wrong with it.
You're asking me to call the evidence into question?
Well, there's no way Tabby did this, right? So, if the evidence says that she did, then the problem must lie here.
You seem very sure about this.
Call it my grave thief intuition.
Intuition, huh? Still, she could be right. I simply don't believe Miss Lloyd to be a malicious fibber, which means... As someone who believes that evidence is everything in court, the irony is not lost on me, but... If I were to call a piece of evidence into question, it would have to be...
The gun, the bullet, or neither of them?
Which one you think?
The gun?
Oh, yeah. If something untoward is going on here, it would have to involve the weapon, not the bullet. After all, we only just recovered the bullets a little while ago. Furthermore, we know that Mr. Knight had an opportunity to handle the gun. Now hand over the evidence you have gathered and remove yourselves from this plane. I'd do as he says if I were you, Edgeworth. This can't really be the end of the line, can it? Indeed, he had ample opportunity. There's no doubt that this gun is the weapon that was used in the crime. Which means it must belong to... only one guy.
Him?
Yeah.
He switched it around when Edgeworth gave him the evidence.
Yeah, you catching that. The gun belongs to Mr. Knight! He switched them around! That has to be it!
Mr. Knight's revolver data jotted down in my organizer switched for the one found in the spectator area. Bullet markings match those of the bullet fired in the incident.
Alright, this thing right here, present the gun.
Objection!
Admit it, you switched the guns, didn't you, Mr. Knight? That's why the markings matched the weapon in question. It was yours all along! An intriguing move there, Edgeworth. And... you must have made the switch when I handed over the evidence. While I was busy trying to make the case for remaining on the investigation. You took the laser sight from the gun we found in the trash can. And put it on your own! Then, not long afterwards, you handed that gun back to me instead of the one we found! I did, huh? You think I somehow knew you'd find, let alone run forensics on that bullet sometime in the future? It's not so strange. You're a chess player after all, a man well used to thinking several moves ahead. I'm flattered, but much as it pains me to admit it, you're overestimating my abilities. Besides, do you even have any proof that I made the switch?
Knight's Counter Part 2.
The gun is the same model as mine. Weird, sure, but it's just a coincidence. And look, there's a laser sight attached. Also, take a look in the cylinder. 2 spent bullets. Just what we'd expect to see. So what proof do you have that I switched the original gun out for mine, huh? None! That's what! You say I'm overestimating your abilities? You surprise me. What can I say? I'm a modest guy. More modest than you, that's for sure. Everywhere except at the chessboard, that is. Well, I don't see a chessboard here, do you? Shame. Still, guess that gives you a nice excuse. I didn't mess up. I just didn't have the right evidence. I don't think I'll be the one making excuses. Rather, I didn't mess up. I just got lucky with the evidence will be your excuse, I'd imagine.
Rebuttal Knight's Counter Part 2.
Alright, false statement.
So what proof do you have that I switched the original gun out for mine, huh? None, that's what.
Okay. The proof that I have that you switched the gun is the gun. Gumshoe, all you do is left. Down. Right.
The gun.
The gun.
Objection!
Shelly the gun.
I have your proof right here. That's your proof? I think you've been working too hard, Edgeworth. Not the gun itself, the evidence it carries. Evidence that will prove once and for all that it does in fact belong to you. I'm looking forward to this. Go ahead, make your move. What about it? What's about to come into play? The rook? The bishop? Not a pawn, surely.
Bishop.
Bishop. That's it. Anyway. Bishop. Bishop. The evidence the gun will provide takes the form of a fingerprint.
Yeah, the fingerprints.
Fingerprints. Namely, your fingerprints, Mr. Knight.
Objection!
My prints? Pah, of course my prints are on the gun. You handed it right to me when you gave up the evidence. How could they not be on there?
Objection!
What if I told you there are prints on the ports of the gun that you shouldn't have touched at any point? What? Where? You can't prove that! Oh, but I can. There is a place where your fingerprints could never have been left if things happened as you say. Allow me to present the final piece of evidence that will bring our game to its rightful conclusion. Ooh?
The right side of the gun.
Alright, so what do you do when you...
Raise the trigger.
No, what do you do when you want to shoot a gun?
Press this.
No, alright, what do you do? What do you need to shoot a gun?
Your fingers.
What else?
Shoot a gun?
What do you need to fire a gun?
Ah, bullet.
Yes, he should. If his fingerprints are on the bullets, that means he loaded them. So the cylinder.
Do I just punch
Yeah,
this?
just press A. I think. Here, look closely at the cylinder, detective.
2 bullets fired, but where are the prints we're looking for, sir?
Now you press the bullets. You did indeed switch the guns when I handed you the evidence. But if that's what all you had done, your deception would have been easily detected. Because the number of bullets fired by each gun was different.
There were 2 spent bullets in the gun we found.
Yeah, But what about Mr. Knight's gun?
We know that he fired 2 bullets from the stage into the balloon. And he fired another bullet into Mr. Rook, ending his life. So 3 bullets in total, plus the few odd ones he let loose in shock during our little game. And after each shot, he reloaded his gun out of habit. With his bare hands, of course. Officer, where exactly were Mr. Knight's fingerprints found? The ones you mentioned in your report? Sir, they were found on the exterior of the weapon, but also on the bullets themselves. I'm not sure they could have gotten there from just me handing you the evidence, Mr. Knight. And there we have it. Proof that you did indeed switch the guns. This gun, the one which fired the bullet that killed Mr. Rook, is yours! And in taking his life, you are the true assassin!
Uh-oh.
Checkmate.
I was waiting on him to say that.
No!
Just showing his face. Was that the blue badger?
Yeah, there's a bunch of references. There's some samurai dogs. I was gonna be the new chief of security! That blasted Rook! If it hadn't been for him, I would have been in charge by now! I would have been in control of the whole team! My plan was perfect! The fake assassination was supposed to be flawless! Okay. No. Detective Gumshoe. Right away, sir! Okay, I say it. Curse you, Edgeworth! Our game isn't over yet! I'm afraid this is as far as we go for today.
Hey, Game Queen 81, how's it going?
The next moves we play will be in the courtroom. But it's not fair! It's not fair!
He put his hands behind his back. March 25th, 5:12 p.m. Good Lakeside Stage. His muscles back.
This is right now he outside. Mr. Edgeworth, I owe you a debt of gratitude. You exposed the murderer within the ranks of my own personal guard. I will not soon forget that. He's suddenly very presidential again now that we're back outside the plane. I saw it, you know, when I first proposed the fake assassination to him. You want me to handle it, not Rook? Rook refused, but I can rely on you, can't I? Of course, sir. You can count on me. I'll put together a plan that can't possibly fail. And he'll play his part like the pawn he is. The hatred in his eyes was plain to see. He despised poor Rook. I was entirely comfortable about moving forward with Knight in charge of our little deception. And looking back, I think he sensed my discomfort. I can't help thinking I played a point in his decision to end Rook's life. Mr. President, none of this would have happened if you hadn't plotted to fake an attempt on your life. That was your crime, and it is a crime you will have to live with. You are right. I can only apologize for the plot I played. I said ploy.
and I will no doubt be made to pay for my actions in one way or another. But I thank you nonetheless. You solved the riddle of Rook's demise, and for that, I shall be eternally grateful. I will be here in your country for a little while longer yet. But when I have to return home, perhaps you will visit us in Zangfa. You will always be welcome.
They need to get him from being president. Oh,
Wow,
thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Y'all don't know how grateful I am. All's well that ends well.
Miss Lloyd, the accusation of murder made against you was of course entirely groundless. But the fact remains that you were a willing participant in a staged assassination attempt. The police will no doubt wish to speak to you about the matter. You should be aware that you may well be punished for your actions.
I know, and I'm awful sorry about everything. Truly, I am.
I understand your desire for a scoop, but there are limits.
There sure are. I got me some serious thinking to do. You did it, Mr. Edgeworth. That was something else. Local prosecutor solves assassination conundrum. I can see. Earns eternal gratitude of precedent. How's that for a headline? Hey, there's my department. Mr. Prosecutor, how does it feel to solve such an important case? You must be over the moon.
She certainly doesn't stay down for long. No comment.
Oh man, you're one tight-lipped crazy boy.
Crazy boy. You one tight-lipped crazy boy, Andrew. You one tight-lipped crazy boy.
Really do.
As well I should be. This case is not over yet.
It isn't? How come, sir?
Because until we unravel the story behind this, the case will never be completely over.
Did I do that?
Nah, they did that.
Sir, I think you're just a crazy boy. I don't think there's nothing much to discuss.
It's
The killer?
the killer's card. Yeah, not his proof, it's the card.
Take that!
The killer's calling card.
Mr. The Killer has yet to complete his assignment.
You mean he might still try to murder the president?
I hope I'm wrong, but if I'm not, this could all blow up into something more sinister yet. As one would expect with the attempted assassination of a president, the case was all over the news. And my preparations for Mr. Knight's trial were constantly interrupted by requests from the press. There wasn't a person in the land who didn't know about the case. Everybody was talking about it. But in the midst of the frenzy that followed, nobody noticed that this was only the first move in a game far bigger than any of us could have imagined.
Ooh.
The end. Well, that ended okay. What you think about that, Plum?
Is it okay to start a case?
Does it tie in with the other cases?
I don't know yet. All I know is that looking at Kay now, I'm at a certain point in the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
She is unrecognizable. You know
What you mean?
You know what I mean when we get there. You know what I mean when I get there.
All right, we'll get there soon. But yeah, I appreciate you all for watching. Yeah, that was an exciting episode. All right, Yeety, Dave, Game Queen 81, everyone else that's watching, I appreciate you all for watching. And yeah, if you're watching, you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, appreciate you. Go ahead and subscribe. Also, if you don't mind hitting that like button for me. And I will talk to you all on the next one. You all take care. Good night.